Hello everybody, Antiochos Megas here with another 3 versus 3 this time, 31k commentary. This was fought yesterday, I think? No, the day before yesterday. This was Saturday? I don't know. A couple days ago, I think Saturday. This is me with Wind's Echo. I don't know who this is. Maybe it's Venator, I don't know. And Varus, a classic CWB player from the old times. Famously used to be considered the best CWB player until Zeke and Saint came into the picture, I guess. Very good at archers and cav, if that means. We've got myself here with the Seleucids, obviously. And if you've seen my other videos, you probably know what this build is. It's going to be the 5 cataphract, 4 archer, 1 militia cav sort of formula that I take for fighting like mixes of factions, especially involving pikes. Got gold 1 and maybe 1 gold 2 cataphract with the general inside the gold 2 cataphract, obviously. The person chasing me right now with his 6 militia cavalry is Lou Reed. Lou Reed is a player who never really joined many clans. He was in IOW very briefly. I met him in, I started playing in like September of 2015. He was one of the first people in the lobby I met. We didn't play 31k rules. We sort of played like 15k or something, large scale. And I came to this game for the Hellenistic factions that are in it. The opportunity to really simulate commanding a Macedonian or a Seleucid or some other type of army. So I loved ancient history, and I still do. That was why I came in the game. So I always played like Macedon versus Rome against this guy, and Seleucid versus Rome. And that was like sort of my first experience with Rome Total War online. It was this guy. So he's not really elite or knowledgeable of how to play by clan level standards, but I've known this guy so long. He's always welcome in my games, at least. I think he's not. I don't think he's really bad, and I don't think he's somebody who can't play. But I digress. I think he's a solid casual player, let's call him. Now, the other armies, the guy surrounding Varus' side that I'm sending cataphracts and support to, this is going to be Titan's Beast. Very classic 31k player, one of the best ever. In my opinion, probably the best in history for most of Rome Total War history, that is, with Rome. And still very competitive and great with it today. Known for very aggressive, bold, decisive moves. He's gone as Carthage today, and he's taken a very spread out formation with 4 slingers, it looks like, at least, unless one got killed. He's going to use his cavalry to maximum effect. He's going to use those slingers, and he's really going to dominate the field and sort of like wedge us in here, which is a very, very good move from B-side. Paglia staying really close. This is Paglia here with the Scipii. He's taken, it looks like, I don't think he's taken a legionary first cohort this time. It looks like 14-6. He's working in very close conjunction with Lou Reed here. And Beast and Paglia and Lou have got us into this sort of awkward situation here. What I should do, I don't think I do it, but what I really should do is get more out of range of these slingers that Beast is going to try to weaken me with. Varus losing some cretins here to Beast. Beast is, if he's one thing, he's a guy who's very proactive with cavalry. He's always doing something with it, and I think as long as that cavalry has good stamina, like a Sacred Band does, it's a very strong trait to have. There's no reason to miss opportunities like to kill archers in a matchup where Archer War matters, especially for the Seleucids. In Macedon, is both of these infantry forces are vulnerable to missile shots from the side, and so the Archer War, it's just very important not to lose it too decisively. And well, we've got Wind's Echo here fanning out with his cavalry as well. It's pretty clever to be really spread out like this in this situation. And yeah, what we do eventually do is sort of retreat backwards a bit to get out of this sort of like, power clamp here. So it's really uncommon for Greece to just go 14 Spartans and 6 militia cav, but it kind of really, it makes it hard for me to use my one militia cav that I take, because I lose a cataphract in order to have a very flexible ability to kill archers if the enemy cav is all tied up and preoccupied with other matters, which it very well could be in this situation because we just have so much more cav than they do. But on the other hand, to defeat the infantry of the factions we have, they don't necessarily need so much cavalry. They want some, obviously. But it's profitable for them to just take strong infantry and really do well in the archer war. It probably would have been better for them if Greece took at least a few archers instead of just all militia cav, but the Greek infantry doesn't sacrifice any power from that, so it's okay. But yeah, all these light cav make it really difficult for me to use my militia cav. Lurid's field awareness for being such a casual player, I guess, quote unquote, for lack of a better term perhaps, but his field awareness is actually pretty reasonable. He does try to be supportive in some way all over the map. But it's one thing to try to be supportive to your allies everywhere, and it's another thing to have the ability to, multitask and micromanage so many different things in so many different places, so many different processes going on all at once. It's a lot of load on your working memory, and it takes practice to get good at that. It's not really that other humans are that much, dumber than others on this game in particular. It's just it takes a lot of time and dedication to really, learn the rhythm of the game, keep up with other players who are so much more experienced, and you sort of gain that mentality on how to play fast and smoothly. And part of that is just experience too. The more procedural memory you have, the faster you can do things that you're familiar with, the faster you deal with situations you've encountered before, and the faster that you can capitalize on opportunities. So the experience really matters a lot. And even players who've been playing for similar numbers of years, they all have different experiences. Some people weren't in 2020 doing all those 2v2s with the best clans in 31k at that time. Where they had Cleo and Dio, you had Heracles coming back for even a little bit, the COVID sort of times. You had some Titans. You had Sparky, Paglia, myself, Mohammed for some of it, Beast for a little bit. He wasn't very active back then. You had Hamilcar and Luke. You had Demon. Really a great time for 2 versus 2. Very elite competitive play in those days. And people who are really good these days who've gotten good after that, a lot of people missed that, but they have very good experience in other ways. Because in today's sort of lens, I'm going on a tangent just because it's like a really slow archer game. There's nothing to really say. We're just shooting archers. We're just kind of waiting to engage. It's a standoff. But anyway, wait, what was I saying? Yeah, a lot of people who got good after that, I'm not going to name names. There's no need to name names specifically. They're really more good at like CWV, very good at use of cav. When they go into 31k, use of cavalry. A lot of people recently are surprisingly good with infantry too. They're very bilingual in a very interesting dynamic we have today. Like people who I wouldn't say they were good back then, not quite the best. I'd say they've improved to very extremely the highest levels of, say, pike use and stuff like that, which is a thing that makes me happy. It's because it's interesting to play. People have unique perspectives on something I know, or that the Greeks used to know, or whatever. It's interesting to play people with a sort of different backgrounds, different perspectives, and see how they're learning the game and how you can adapt to compete with them in the changing landscape. The game isn't dead yet, but it's always in this permanent zone of being close, but it has just enough players. There's a big enough population of decent players to good players that you can still have interesting games at least once a week if you wanted to. And there's always BH, they're constantly playing. So anyway, now that tirade of mine has been exhausted from my mind, let's focus in on what Paglia is working on here. He's keeping himself pretty stable. I think he put his urbans too close to move them back. He took a lot of casualties, as you can see, but he still has decent numbers. It's not like a tragedy or anything. I did that in the last battle too. It's a thing a lot of players do. Also peeling, he's trying to peel some units here. I see some dead pikemen, he got some. Slingers, I see slingers shooting. He's going into the testudos. So the testudos are going to make it a little bit more complicated for him to be able to just auto-pila. But if they're now engaged, that sort of counteracts that. But they're providing support now to my Silver Shield pikemen. I can see Pila throwing... Yep, he's definitely... Pila and Slingers. This is absolutely devastating my infantry over time. Paglia's doing a great job with that manual Pila. Or if it's auto Pila, he did a great job managing that too. Absolutely showering all of these units here. Very, very good with that Pila. Very effective. Just stay focused on the pikes and just incinerate them slowly. That's sort of what you want to see. Taking a lot of casualties with this Urbans here. These pikes have sort of stabilized this sort of part. Spartans coming in, Lou Reed. Really good engagement from Lou Reed. I actually like what he's doing here a lot. This is powerful. Varus's Macedonians are sort of in this awkward position here with this amount, 3 Spartans sort of focused with 1 Spartan holding them back. He's going to probably lose the Spartan soon. I think Varus should probably should probably fix this pike, sort of position it kind of so it's connected with my Silver Shield pike, overlapping with his Royal pike here. I think he needs to do a better job with that. He could shorten this line here and support against these 3 Spartans with these 2 units. But Lou Reed is in a great position here to, you know, really do some incredible damage. Paglia has a very robust looking sort of escort for Beast's Sacred Band to then seal the deal. This line is not... This is bad here. We've got a gap. I should try to plug it, I guess, with a Silver Shield pikeman, but it ate a lot of Pila, and it's clearly overwhelmed. Like, look at that. Phalanx holds up really well here so far, for now. Beast has 4 reserves still, and he has cavalry still do good. And I want to just draw attention to how vulnerable this Phalanx is. This Phalanx does not have a lot of reserves. It has gaps, and there are a lot of Spartans and a lot of Sacred Band that are easily able to envelop us here, and we don't have a lot of effective units to really counter that. The Cataphracts will be powerful against Sacred Band, particularly, more so than they would be against Spartans. But do we have the reserves? The question is, do we have the reserves to be able to give the Cataphracts an anvil to hammer on? Because if they don't, they might still kill these Sacred Band, actually. They might, but they'll take a lot of losses doing that, because they still have spears. And there's cavalry that's free to countercharge them, and they'll definitely die if they're in a grind against Sacred Band that they really shouldn't be charging if the Sacred Band are unengaged. So this is a precarious situation here. I think Varus is in a great position to just absolutely annihilate Wind's Echo here. Oh wait, actually Varus is on our team, sorry. This is our ally. Sorry about that. Yeah, Paglia is the Rome. Is on their team with the Rome. Wind's Echo here is actually fighting Lou Reed. So Lou Reed still can send a lot of Spartans, though, over here if he wants. I think given the way that Wind's Echo has engaged... Wow, what a fuck-up. The way Wind's Echo is engaged here, he can certainly hold it with these 5. His general, oof, that's a really bad place for the general. You gotta move it. It's risky to even move it back now, because it's going to be walking while engaged with Urbans that are stabbing it. A lot of generals die like this. It's just not a good place to engage this. Definitely no reason to lose a general, because if the game gets close and you don't have your general being alive could have saved it's one of those things. But anyway, he has the Spartans to still do an envelopment here in conjunction with Beast. And the question is, Varus has a lot of cav. Maybe if the Spartans don't have reserves here, he might do a really good charge and kill at least a lot of these Spartans if Wind's Echo really presses in. But it's risky, you know, it's Spartans, and he could always just run these guys back and sandwich the companions. It's just like a very sketchy-looking situation here. But for now, right now, the infantry line is holding. We need something to plug this gap here. Just looking at this is bothering me. But we don't really have much, and this is going to cause units to start dying more rapidly and routing. So this gap's got to be closed. It's a little thing that's really important. I think I see it and I just do it. But look at how weak this exposed royal is. It's getting... Beast is hemming it in here. A really great angle there with that Sacred Band. You know, there's a lot of people don't look inside the infantry battle and really examine what's going on. It matters a lot, especially when you accept engagements. There's a lot of little details that go into it. Lots of little attentive care, let's call it. Over here, I realize that something's got to happen with the cataphracts, and it's not going to be easy, because Beast and Pag's instincts are correct, especially with Pag saving his general here. It's smart. Paglia over here, woof, wins Echo. This is what I thought Varus was going to do, and then I quickly realized Varus is actually on our team. And after I was just talking about him. Very good charge there from Pag, really causing a lot of death. He follows it up with a second 2 Praetorians. I try to send in some pikes to do something. I mean, Varus sends... This is Wow, I'm mixing everything up today. Varus sends in his pike to try to do something. It's actually a smart move there. Meanwhile, engagement over here, engagement over here. These cataphracts are going to kill beasts. 3 Sacred Band here. These cataphracts don't get so lucky. There's just way too much pressure here. I should have pulled back when the Spartan came. As you can see, Sacred Band infantry do not kill cataphracts quickly, but because of all the units that are here, I still lose a cataphract, and Beast is if I know Beast, he really chases those routing units down to make sure they don't come back, which is smart. So we lose cataphracts there. Cataphracts here still alive. Unfortunately, they're too late, and they're getting winded from all that engagement. This is typical. This is how the battle. This is how. Now I know how Antiochos III lost the Battle of Magnesia. This is the Battle of Magnesia, guys. Oh my goodness. This is... Listen. Let me explain the Battle of Magnesia for you. So Antiochos, his left wing fails. His left wing cavalry, it charges. There's a lot of chariots involved. The story is that there were chariots sent against the Roman right wing. They used javelins and arrows to pummel the chariots, which went crazy. They routed. They retreated back into their own lines, caused a lot of disorder. Not what happened in this battle. There's no muck chariot that messed me up or fucked me up or anything. It was Beast's attack that I tried to defend against. So then the Roman right wing charges and the disordered Seleucid left wing routes. Meanwhile, Antiochos himself leading the cavalry, and my general was in this part that won. This is the Battle of Magnesia, guys. I just lived through it, and I'm the Seleucid with the general in the cavalry, just like Antiochos. So Antiochos, personally commanding his cavalry, charges into the Roman right wing. That's too beautiful not to take a screenshot of. He charges right into the Roman right wing, shatters it, absolutely demolishes it, and pursues them, tries to make sure they don't regroup and come back. But they are able to regroup and defend against his charge. He gets stuck sort of in a battle with them. Meanwhile, the Romans then surround the unsupported phalanx because Antiochos was fighting too long, and because his left wing collapsed, it had no support. There were other infantry, a lot of other infantry, but that portion of it that wasn't elite phalangites broke and ran after the left wing collapsed. So just the elite sarissas and war elephants were left. They formed a box, and they held the Romans back very well. The Romans couldn't break it, but what they did was their skirmishers shot the elephants that were stationed inside the phalanx, and they went berserk and started trampling the men, and the phalanx, relying on discipline and cohesion, just collapsed. And the Romans attacked, and that was the end of probably the best part of Antiochus' army that he ever had. His cavalry comes back, but by the time they come back, it's too late. And this is me. I'm reliving the Battle of Magnesia. And watch what happens here. Paglia and Beast destroying our phalanx here, just like at that battle. But maybe, what if Antiochus was just a little bit sooner? You know, still did a last hoorah, a last power of the Seleucids charge, one last show of force, you know, just to say, this is what we do, we're warriors. We can hurt you and fight no matter what, even if you get the better of the battle. Fight right to the end. Right there. There's Antiochus leading the charge, slaughtering everything around him, even as his army collapses around him. The Spartans are closing in. Oh my god, it's absolute destruction here. Cataphracts fighting to the death, There's Antiochus. He is not giving up. Everything else is gone except Winds Echo here. It needs to be over here. And there he goes. If Antiochus decided to be like a Spartan, be like Agus III or Leonidas, this is how it would happen at the Battle of Magnesia. Just absolutely one last kick-ass charge, and then GG. So yeah, we got Wind's Echo here. I'm not sure what he was doing over here. I don't know why Urbans were sent this far away. Did they all route and come back? He got lucky. I don't know. Paglia really did him over with a good charge there, as he was engaged with the Spartans of Lou Reed. Everybody used their armies very well on the Titan Lou Reed side, I think. I think Varus did a pretty okay job. I think I would have, if I was Varus, the only thing I would have changed is like just make that phalanx tighter. You know, you don't need the units to be elongated like that. Have more reserves, be ready to box maybe. I'm not really good about boxing when I should. I just don't like boxing as much. I really should do it. Sultan Adnan is very good about boxing. So shout out to him, because when he does it, it's usually at a really good time, and he ends up winning a lot of team games, I notice, from that instinct to box. So that's a really good reference point. Look at Adnan's games if you ever see him with Macedon or something, and he was in the last video. He did a very good box, and it won with a lot of kills, 2,000 kills. So that's what I would have changed if I was Varus. Wind's Echo, yeah, I don't know. I didn't say much about him in this replay. I guess just learn better knowledge of how to support your allies, because it looks like you have a pretty significant force not in the game. I don't know why his army's over here. I don't know why these archers are all over here. Really could have helped out. The enemy surrounded us, so there were a lot of points. When you surround someone, the only weakness is that there's a lot of points at which outlying archers can undermine your attack and shoot you. So, well, let's just get this over with. Beast, Paglia, Lou Reed. They do him in. They do him in. Wind's Echo, actually not a bad charge right there, but I think it's too late for it to have a routing effect. There we go. There we go. So that's the Battle of Magnesia, guys. That's how the Seleucid Empire ends. Close defeat. Seleucids get most kills on our team. Really symbolic of that heroic final charge. Beast and Pag, absolutely phenomenal kills. We're the workhorses of that battle by far, and mainly fought Sarissas. So more than 3,000 kills between them. And then Lou Reed with 1,000. He mainly fought Rome, and then he was a strong block of pikes that were difficult to contend with at that point, let's just say. So he did his part as well. Now let's just take a moment to examine the kills. Militia cavalry, worth its weight in gold with 93 kills, I think. That's at least that's like at least a full slinger, or routed an archer and killed another one. So it traded off pretty well. And it allowed me to upgrade my cataphracts, my 5 other cataphracts, and my infantry a lot more thoroughly. One archer must have died early that I didn't see, 0 kills. Other archers did lackluster, unless they shot heavy infantry from the back. Silver Legions, they absorbed some Pila from Paglia, I noticed in the battle, but Paglia was really good about not wasting all of it on them. You saw him very thoroughly and very effectively Pila the Seleuco-Macedonian phalanx that was in the sort of final stand during the infantry war. And Silver Shield Pikemen didn't do too great. I think 93 is actually really good for a Silver Shield Pikeman. You have to understand, they're fighting Urbans mixed with Sacred Band, and they got Piloed extensively. It's not very easy for them to kill those. They don't kill those things rapidly. They just hold and win from attrition, if anything, and they get a lot of kills if they win. But yeah, cataphracts all except one did fairly well, considering they mainly would have just killed cavalry and elite heavy infantry. So yeah, that's the battle, and I really enjoyed looking at this, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.